Hello everyone. Today I'm gonna show you how you can start using Git locally, connect to the GitHub repo, and then use the Visual Studio Code optionally to work with it. So all step by step. First, you need the Git to be available in your local machine. So this is a fresh new machine. I will use the Git Scm to download the Git for my local machine. So if you go to the Git Scm portal over here, you will find that it has a section called download for Windows. So if you click on the download for Windows, it's gonna go ahead and download. You just simply say run, and this will be a pretty quick installation. As the Windows says, I will say on desktop use true type. Okay, I'll say next. Good. Next. Next. And then I'm done. So it is now going to install everything into my local machine. So let this happen. Now, once this is done, I will just say launch git bash and let this launch. And you will be able to see that the bash from Git is getting launched, right? So this Git is finally working. I can also check in command prompt if Git is working. Yeah, Git is fine, working perfectly fine. What I can do now, I can just go to my, let's say, my documents, and then create a folder, sample Git, and then in that folder, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write something and then initialize with the Git. To do that, what I can do, I can start a command prompt from here, and I say git init. That's the first command I need. That will initialize the Git in my local folder. Okay, and if I do that git init, and if I just show all files and then hidden files, you will find one hidden folder is created, .git, and then it has got some information. Forget about all this thing. My local Git is sort of initialized now. Now if I have, let's say, a new file created, so for example, I'll say first.txt, and then I write something in that as the local date and time. I save it, store it. I'm pretty much fine with that. And then what I need to do to save it in the Git, I need to say git add, and I can just mention the file name saying first.txt. That will add this file to my local Git repo. So whatever I'm doing now at this point in time are all local. Okay, so I'm just using the local Git repo. Okay, so what I can do, I can say Git Status, and this will tell me there is a new file. I can add another file. Let's say I copy this file and create a copy, and then if I now say Git Status, it will tell me that there is a new file which is basically added to my Git for the commit. This is untracked file, and to add this I need to say again git add and then copy first copy. If I do this and now I say git status, you will find two files are basically ready for commit. I have not done the commit yet. Okay, so I'm still working. So if I just copy one more time, it will create third file, and then if I say git status, it keeps track of my folder, and within the folder, if I have subfolder and files within that subfolder, it will all track all of them pretty much exactly the way it is doing now. So I can have a subfolder, let's say here as a folder 1, and then inside the folder, if I have a new text file, third.text, it will show me the git status for the folder 1, right? So I need to basically add this folder to be tracked within the git. So what I can do now, I can say git add. Now instead of adding all the files individually, I can say git add dot. If I do that, then all of them will be sort of added for me by default. You can see that it takes care everything within this folder recursively. So all the subfolders, files, everything will be added by just saying git add dot. I don't have to manually mention any file. So all fine till now. Now what we need to do is we need to commit. It's not committed. So let's commit. Git commit needs you to pass a message also. It's mandatory. So message m and then say this is initial commit. If you do that, then it asks you to, because I'm using it for the first time, it is asking me to do something. It's not done the commit. So if you say git status, you'll still see it's the same state because it needs me to run two things. That I need to configure my git locally. To configure my git locally, I need to provide this information. That is git config. And then I say -- global, and I say user.email, and I just say that abc@contoso.com. okay, it doesn't check whether that email is valid or not, and then I need the name also. So let me give a name, that is my name, and then instead of email I will use name. Okay, so we are basically configuring the local git. Once I'm done with that, I can run the git commit. This is initial commit, and you can see now all the 4 files are committed. Now if I say git status, it will show you that there is nothing, no new changes, nothing of that sort, something like that. Now I want to modify an existing file which was added earlier. Let's put a date and time, save it. Okay, this is an existing file. What I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna create a copy from that existing file, and if I now do the git status, you see there are 2 different sections. One is that a tracked file which got some changes or modified, so it is saying that it is now modified, and this is untracked because this is a new file. And remember the golden rule, git add dot will ensure all the files and folders will be added if you have this thing. So you can see now it is showing both the files are part of the commit next commit. So if I do commit now, I'll say git commit -m, and then I say second commit. It basically will change both the files, will commit both the files and store it over here. Okay, so this is all about local Git. Now let us use the GitHub to see what different experience we might have. So we'll go to this documents, and then I'll say sample GitHub. Okay, and what I'm going to do, go to the GitHub. So you need a GitHub login, so you can pretty much create a basically free login, right? And then I go to, let's say, create. Let me just go here. Now if you go to the GitHub, login using your free account, so you can just go and create a free account, and then you say new repository, and then you just say repository name sample GitHub. Okay, just a name. Okay, and then you say create a repository. You can say readme file, add readme, add git ignore, add license, do all the stuff. We are not just going to do that, so that's fine. And create the folder. It gives you how you can initialize them, right? Now it says that you have a folder, you initialize that folder, you do all the commit, and then you say git remote add. We'll use this with our existing folder. We can do that. So what we can do now, right? So if, let's say, we go back to the folder and go to the previously created Git, and then open our command prompt, and I say Git Status, just to see whether there is anything, nothing like that, and I say Git remote -v. There is no remote. So if you say git remote, there is no remote. Now to add the Git and see what all local branches you have, I can say git branches. Only you have master. Okay, so what I can do, I can say git branch m main, and then if I just say git branch, it is now in the main branch. You can see that it is now in main branch. Now I add this remote. You can see that it says that what is the origin of my Git. So this is the GitHub. So I can add remote by providing the remote detail. So if I do that now, it will ask me, and then you can see that it is now added. Now if I say git remote, you see that it's origin, listed as origin, right? And then what I can simply do is that I can simply push my code into the origin. Now notice here, at this point, my GitHub do not contain any single file. You see here, there is no files, nothing, so only the instruction. If I go here and then say git push -u and origin main, it is main. Okay, it will basically start copying the file, but before that, let me log in to my GitHub account, and I will choose the browser, say okay, and I say authorize, and I say successful. Okay, and let me see what exactly is there. So it is pretty quick because there are only few kb text files. Now if I come back to my GitHub and refresh this page, what this is gonna show me, all the files and folders I have created. So this is one way of connecting your existing project folder to GitHub. However, if you have, let's say, something in GitHub like this at this point in time, you can bring them into your local folder and then everything will be configured for you. For example, if I pick this URL from here, come back to this new folder I have created, the example GitHub, and then I say go ahead and open a command prompt, and then I say git clone. If I do that and pass on the URL, what it's gonna do, it's gonna bring back everything from GitHub into my local machine. Now you can see that there's a folder created and all the files have been created. So it basically configures everything. So if you say git branch, you'll find if I say git remote, there is no git repository. Okay, we are not in the right folder, so I'll say cd sample GitHub. So because it created a subfolder named by the name of the repo, so I'll say git branch. If I do that, you can see that main branch is there. And then if I say git remote, I didn't do anything here, but all of them are basically configured. Okay, now if I make any changes to any of the file, for example, I add one more text file over here, okay, and then just leave the file here, what I can do, I can say git status. It will show me the newly created file. I can say git add dot, it'll add the file. I can say git commit -m third commit, and then I say git push. It will push. And now if I go ahead and then refresh this page, I should be able to see new text document pushed into this GitHub repository. So this is how you basically use GitHub from your local machine and then keep pushing the code. Now coming to the Visual Studio Code, which you can download from this code.visualstudio.com. So let me show you the portal. You can go to this code.visualstudio.com, and then if you just download it, which is what I'm gonna do now, I have downloaded it already, and then I say install, and I install this Visual Studio Code, and then I add a desktop icon, code, and supported editor, install it. What it's gonna do, it's pretty quick basically. So it's around 60 MB download size. That's basic stuff, and you can add extension on top of that to make it based on your type of work. And it also comes with an extension for Git by default. So if you see here, once it is loaded, right, and I should be able to see the four controls here. Now what I can do over here at this point in time, I can go to the folder I'm working on, and I can just close both the runtime, and then I go to the sample GitHub, okay, and I say code. Will it open? Let's try that. Okay, it's gonna open the Visual Studio Code by calling the code, and then it should open the folder. Okay, it's not gonna open. So let me say cmd code dot. If I do that, it should now launch my Visual Studio Code at the same folder. You can see that you have new text documents, etc. And then if I add this is added from VS Code. Okay, if you do that and say save, okay, you can also click on auto save, so every time you do that it's saved. You see that the source control, because this folder is being managed by local Git and also connected to the GitHub, it captures the changes. So it shows you the pending changes and it shows you the branch you are working on, right? You are right now in the main branch. You can click here and create a new branch. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. Then you can go to this source control and then it says that couple of things you want to, because it's a tracked file already, you can just commit it, saying that commit from VS Code. You need to provide this message. You do that and then I say commit. Yes, it committed the changes, but it did not push anything to the remote. So you need to explicitly say push. Instead of writing git push, you can say push, and this will be pushed to the GitHub because it is already connected. This folder is already connected. So to check whether it is done properly or not, what I can do, I can simply refresh this page, come over here and see that there's a 30 seconds ago that something has happened here. That's definitely the line I have added from Visual Studio. So from Visual Studio, you don't need to remember any command prompt. You can keep on adding things over here. So for example, if you are adding, let's say, fourth.txt, that's a file I have added, fourth file. Okay, and then it automatically will save. I'll come over here. Fourth is my commit statement. I commit locally first. It says yes, and then I say that push. It's gonna go ahead and push all the thing, and I go to the sample code. You can see that fourth with the commit message I have done for this last commit will be shown here. So this is now connecting my VS Code to the local Git and pushing it to the GitHub. So that's all I wanted to share with you. Thanks, and hopefully this will help you going forward in your development exercises.